New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Jailers from the Nick of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And man, no gunshots today. No gunshots today. I'm sorry, guys. There's no gunshots today. But we still going to talk some Knicks basketball. The Knicks versus the Spurs. We just got our butts handed to us. 119 to 93. Hold on a second. I'm hearing an echo.
And man, no gunshots today. No gunshots today. I'm sorry.
You guys hear echo?
No,
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So we're gonna start the show off. Julius Randle, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. RJ Barrett, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. Frank Ntilikina, 13 points, 3 from 3. Nerlens Noel, 12 rebounds and 3 blocks. Emmanuel Quickly though with 26 points. All right, so you guys tell me, what did you see from this game? What did you think? I know Roy was talking about it earlier. He was getting into it. How do you feel about this Knicks loss? And are you even taking it?
New York, big city of dreams.
no, I'm not taking it that seriously because, like we said, man, if you saw the game Sunday, you could see that the Knicks were a little slow, and they beat Detroit because they're a better team than Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay? They didn't beat Detroit because they were coming out raring to go. They were just a better team than Detroit. So that's why they beat them. But you cannot come out against the San Antonio Spurs like that. And so, that was just, to me, and we've seen this. There's a couple of patterns we have seen during the course of the season. Number one, the Knicks are a bad third quarter team. We've seen that,
Yep. Yeah. Third quarter of doom on the last game for sure.
Right.
That's when the whole collapse happened.
And every once in a while, you can see they're out of gas. Every once in a while, you can see they come out of gas. And games that they've lost this year, that's generally been the case. They've generally been out of gas. You can see them a step slow, especially guarding the three-point line. That's generally one of the symptoms. You can see them a step slow closing up. When they're good, when they have energy, they're chasing people off the three-point line and causing them to drive. That's when you can see they have the energy. But when they're not chasing them off the line or just running up to them and raising their hand, that's not good enough in the NBA, and obviously wasn't good enough last night. So, I'm not taking this. I'm not worried about this too much. Not worried about it too much. It's just a game that we just didn't have the energy. I'm hoping as the season progresses, those low energy games become less and less. But it was one of those last night. It wasn't even about a tactical error. Player just, we depended on somebody and it stunk, or somebody else. If we had Derrick Rose, we'd have still lost. I'm just convinced.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I was worried about this team because we talked about this before, Ryan, the game before. This is a team that they said they have 8 players who they average in double figures. 8 players who average in double figures. So, this team, they finished the game with 31 assists. So you already know this team is going to pass the ball fluently and often. So it's not going to be really one person you can really key in on. And, there's been a lot that has been made about our three-point defense and how good or how bad it is, or, we leave certain players open. And I do believe that, it's been by design that there's certain players that we do leave open for a three-point defense. But when there's multiple shooters out there that you have to rotate to, and the Spurs have just that, they have multiple three-point shooters, it's harder to key in on certain guys to, exploit, like how to key in on us. How do people key in on Alfred Payton? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of knew going in that there might be a problem with rotations and closing out on the shooters and just general good three-point defense overall, which I think was a lot of the reason why we even lost this game. They shot over 40% from 3.
Yeah.
Anything to add to this, Ryan?
Yeah, one of the issues was the three-point defense. There were a couple of plays in the game that I want to point out too, where I was like, I don't know what the Knicks were doing in their rotations. I think in the third, I think it was the second half. Julius Randle lost his man, and Trey Lyles had that wide open corner 3.
Right.
So that was a play where I looked at. That was when the Spurs were, on their run and they were pulling away. So I was watching that play over and over again. I was like, because sometimes when you watch a play and you can look at it and see like, okay, just you could figure out what this player might have been thinking.
Yeah.
When they did the move that they did, but I was like, I don't know what Julius Randle was thinking, because the way it was set up, like Trey Lyles was on the wing, and then Frank was guarding. I forgot, it's one of the Spurs guards, and he was on the wing as well, and they were like crowded in one area. So I don't know and then Julius Randle just slid into the paint, and I'm thinking like, I don't know what Julius Randle was thinking. Like, I don't know if he thought that he was supposed to switch with Frank or whatever the case may be, but Frank did the right thing by following his man, because his man cut to the top of the key.
Yeah, and
then Trey Lyles went into the corner. He was wide open for three, and then I was looking at Julius Randle like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you in the paint when Trey Lyles is a viable 3-point threat?
Yeah, I mean, all night Julius Randle was getting his cookies taken all night by Lyles. I'll say that. But also, the big Poeltl, man, this kid, he set so many illegal screens the entire night. It was baffling that none of them was called. Like, the play that happened with 0.7 seconds left in the second quarter, if you watch the tape back, he was literally holding Frank with two hands as Frank was trying to work around the screen. And even throughout the night, there's times where his picks are literally him moving and holding with two hands. And he only had one foul on the night. Now, I'm not saying that's why we lost the game, but it was just one of those things where when you saw a couple of plays when they had his wide open threes, I feel like some of that had to do with the crazy one-sided illegal screens that he was picking, and other times we just didn't close out like we supposed to, man. Like, we just didn't have it today, like Ross said. And I think it was apparent, like, our defense suffered the whole night. Maybe the backs caught up to us. I'm not sure, but we just didn't have it tonight. Also, I will say the second unit defense was pretty good, at least in the second quarter, because that's what got us into this game. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what got us into this game. They were working on a string. They were blocking shots, and they were actually missing shots. When that second quarter, we had 3 different people hit 3-point shots to get back in the game. And we even saw a corner Kev sighting who hit a 3-pointer from the corner. So that was even interesting to see, because Austin Rivers, you thought that maybe who's getting that playing time? Is it corner Kevin, or is it Austin Rivers? And Austin Rivers seems to be like he's the odd man out. So that's something else to watch. Like, I think Austin Rivers might be a guy who is going to be moved eventually. But
they're definitely going to trade him. They're going to trade him.
Yeah,
they're going to trade him.
But you know what? I want to actually talk about something completely different, right? Not even completely different. Frank Ntilikina, right? Frank Ntilikina, this is his first game starting as the point guard for the New York Knicks. He had a decent scoring game, 13 points, 3 from the line. But in that first quarter, we've noticed that the offense looked a little bit slow. It looked like we were out of sync. Do you believe that Frank should have been starting? Because I know there's a debate on Knicks Twitter, Knicks Instagram, that instead of Frank starting, IQ should have been the starting point guard for New York Knicks against the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, they asked Tibbs about it, right? And Tibbs said that he wanted IQ in the second unit because he's success. He likes the way that rolls, so he's going to keep the second unit like that. As I said, if Derrick Rose started the game, we still would have lost the game. They were just not moving. So, like, if you watch the San Antonio Spurs offensively, now when you're watching the San Antonio Spurs offensively, I will admit you're watching an offensive clinic, because those guys, the bodies move as the ball is moving. Okay. With the Knicks, you were not seeing that. It's not Frank's fault that the bodies weren't moving. The bodies weren't moving. People weren't moving without the ball. And so, that being the case, I just think it was just total situation where they were just kind of concerned. That's when Ryan talked about Julius not getting out on Trey Lyles. Right. It happened a couple of times. It happened a few times. And what I'm saying is, that Julius was trying to conserve his energy. That's what it was. And he was using the defense to do that, So you can't do that. He was hoping Trey Lyles would miss. He wasn't missing. No, you're right. And so what happened, in fact, if you really watching the game, see, people want to crucify Frank. I don't understand what this hatred is. Like, this guy must have slept with somebody's sisters, man. Because the thing is that, but the thing is that on the play Ryan was talking about, Frank was in that position a lot where he's got 2 guys he's got to guard. So he's got to decide between his man and Trey Lyles. Right. Yeah. Because somebody didn't close out. That happens a lot. Or if he's passing the ball, is it his fault that he passes the ball and somebody drops it? Or because it's, and RJ, what was RJ had 15 points, but and then anyway, it just wasn't, they just weren't ready last night. They just were not ready. So they came out, they did not have the energy, and it was and I was watching the first quarter, like you said, it looked like they were just not getting on track.
They were getting on track. They looked out of sync. The ball wasn't moving.
Maybe they'll get into it. Maybe they'll come back and get into the rhythm. It never came. And then when you got to the and even in that, now I'm gonna tell you, like, if they had to play the Spurs in the 7-game series, I like the Knicks' chances. Even with I like the Knicks' chances. But that last night, they just weren't prepared energy-wise. They just did not have the energy.
No, yeah, absolutely. Defensively was the biggest problem. Well, let me tell you something that I saw, Roy, last night on the offensive end. I saw a team, at least on the offensive side of the ball, that just wasn't ready to make that mental switch from attack guards like Derrick Rose and Alfred Payton running the show to Frank, who is more of like a spot up type of a guy. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like we kind of got caught in between. So so there was times where Julius Randle was posting up, and I feel like he wasn't really trusting the pass like usual. Like I felt like the inside was a little bit congested, and the kickouts weren't happening, and they kept trying to force it inside, and then we got a little bit in trouble. And I feel like we should have been kicking it outside a lot more because they were packing the paint. Yeah, and also I do feel like a lot of times in that first half we were kind of ignoring Frank in that corner. And I think that's a lot of reason why we struggled in the first half, because we just didn't move the ball enough. And I feel like in that third quarter, at least offensively, once we started to move the ball more and actually find Frank in that other corner, that's when things started to happen and things started to open up.
A little bit, yeah. You're right. No, you're right. And the thing is that if you watch the offense prior to last night, before Frank started, Frank is sitting in the corner. That's the offense for him. He's in the corner, and he's drawing a man toward him, and that opens up the floor a little bit. And then if he gets the ball in the corner, as you saw last night, he's gotten very good at hitting that corner three. So that's been what he's been doing when he's in the game.
Right.
So all of a sudden now we're saying, okay, Frank, it's an hour before the game, we need you to run the offense.
Exactly. Exactly. It's an hour before the game, we need you to run the offense. And for me, this is a perfect opportunity, Ryan, because we had this conversation so many times on the KOT show before the season started about Frank's role on his team and where I think he could fit best. And I've always said, I could think Frank can be a guard who starts, even though he's not a starting point guard per se. But if RJ Barrett takes on more of the playmaking opportunities. Now, we've seen spots this season where RJ, he'll start the third quarter off with a lob for Mitch. We saw even in the beginning of the season, his playmaking, he was looking to make more. He was making those passes to the corner when he was playing like at the top. I feel like if Frank is going to be the starting point guard, or at least the starting guard spot, we have to run the offense a little bit more through RJ for it to work, in my opinion. And I don't know if they have enough practice time to make that happen before the Detroit game, because the Detroit game, is tomorrow. And, they have to fly back, and how practices are. But I feel like that's the correct way to go if you're going to have Frank in a starting lineup. And I don't think they did that in that first few quarters, and that's why they struggled offensively. Like, I know, and I already know defensively we had problems. And Tom is definitely going to fix that, because that's what he does. But I think we need to change our approach on the offensive end if Frank is going to be in the starting lineup, and have it more work to his strengths and the team strengths.
Yeah, I just want to add 2 cents to that. I think you're right about the whole adjustment, because Derrick Rose is a point guard where he more creates. Right. Derrick Rose can create his own shot. Derrick Rose can also go off the dribble, find guys open in the corner, whatever the case may be. So when you have a point guard like Derrick Rose, I feel like movement off the ball is not really as necessary, because Derrick Rose can find you in certain spots. You can score and you can score off of that.
That's why Tom likes attack guards. You're right.
Exactly. But now with a guard like Frank Ntilikina is not really the type of guard that's gonna break you off the dribble and pass it out to guys in the corner and things of that nature. So now with a point guard like Frank Ntilikina, you have to adjust the offense, and now you need guys that's going to actually move off the ball and actually cut, make cuts to the rim and things of that nature, which they weren't doing. They were just stagnant. And then when everybody is stagnant and you have Frank at point guard, that's just going to stall the offense, because the offense, nobody's going to get open. The defense can just, be in position, and you're not doing anything to like offset the defense in any way. So what they should have done, I believe, is, make more movement off the ball. And if you can, like, try to create quick offense, since you see the half-court offense is not working, try to speed up the tempo a bit more and see if you can get easier baskets. And I feel like in the third quarter now, with the whole Julius Randle thing, like, that's what changed, because Julius Randle now, instead of just, backing up in the paint and just taking his shot or whatever the case may be, he started looking for other people.
Yeah.
And then he found Frank in the corner. Frank started hitting a couple threes. And I like the fact that, once Frank hit the first three, when Julius Randle got the ball again, he was backing up in the paint, and he saw the double come. He was looking for Frank again.
Exactly.
And he passed out to Frank again, and Frank hit it. And that's how Frank was able to get a rhythm and get himself into the game. So I feel like if they're going to go with Frank at point guard, they got to adjust that offense a little bit, in like the first quarter or whatever, and get more movement off the ball, and, just try to help Frank out. Because if you're just going to be stagnant and everybody just standing in certain positions, it's not going to work.
No, absolutely. And you not just help Frank out, it's help the team out, because if he starts making shots, there's going to be way more room for Randall to operate, for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So all that definitely needs to happen. And I know some people wanted IQ to start, and some people felt like he was snubbed, and we're gonna talk about the IQ snubbing in a second. But I still think it's still the right move to start Frank instead of IQ, because it would just be too much pressure on Alec Burks to carry that second unit. But speaking of IQ, so IQ had 26 points yesterday, right? A lot of that in garbage minutes. The show before, I've talked about my worry with IQ. I talked about my worry with IQ, but I also said I do want to see him get more reps at the point guard. But I also do recognize that since Derrick Rose was in that second unit, Obi was getting the ball a lot more, so that is a concern. Now, I feel like the game yesterday kind of exacerbated that point, right? We didn't really see Obi get the ball as much. IQ looked a little bit shot happy. He scored 26 points, cool. But the offense stagnated a little bit. So moving forward with Derrick Rose in the starting lineup, are there concerns that if we're not scoring, IQ's not scoring, do you think we'll be fine? Do you think we'll make an adjustment? Like, do you think we'll be okay long term?
What do you mean with IQ in the second unit?
Yeah, with IQ in the second unit, exactly.
Right now, I think that's fine. I mean, I like what Ryan said, because okay, so with D Rose at the starting point guard, you're talking about a guy that's Hall of Fame, right? And he's been doing what he's doing with the Knicks all his life. So that's how he plays the game. So you're gonna get certain things from him as a point guard. Manuel quickly this year has thrived coming off the bench and really helping that second unit. I mean, there was a win. I forgot which one's team. No, it was the Kings, where the second unit scored 71 points in that game. That's really something when your second unit can come in and do that. So
right,
you want to keep that kind of firepower, coming. And you mentioned also with regard to Frank. Yeah, Frank works best in his 4 years with a guy that is an attacking guy beside him. That's why I like him with IQ. Whereas you give him the ball at the point, you got to be moving. Because he's a European, you got to be moving, and that ball's got to move, and he will move it. But if you're stagnant and you're expecting him to attack, you're gonna be disappointed. That's not the type of player he is. So with IQ though, he is an attacking point guard. Now the thing is that he was gunning. He shot 8 for 20.
Yeah, he was too much. It was flamethrower. I was like, yeah.
That ball up. Now he did hit 6 of 13 from the 3. But he was pulling, man. So the thing about him, don't expect him to drive and kick.
He has to though.
Shoot the floater,
he has to at some point. At some point, bro, he can't shoot 50 shots a game.
Yeah. I think if he was though, I have to be honest. If you were giving him the starting role, he would be more of a playmaker. It's because he's coming off the bench like Lou Williams. He's coming off with the attack mindset. I don't think he's that crazy that you start him, he's going to throw up shots.
No, Julius will kill him.
He's going to be but Tibbs wants him. Obviously, if that's the case, Tibbs wants him as an attack dog off the bench, and he's playing that role very well. So I think it was really IQ that made Dennis Smith Jr. expendable because I thought
absolutely.
Dennis Smith Jr. was going to be that guy, and it's IQ that guy. So no. I like him coming off the bench. I would like to have him paired with Frank coming off the bench. Tomorrow, you're going to have to start Frank because you have to remember, we're looking at the offense and critiquing the offense. But you got to remember, Tibbs is a defensive coach. Yeah. Everything is based on his defense. So the reason we lost the game yesterday is because we sucked on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And that's why Frank wasn't starting because he's attacked or not attacked. He was starting because he's a defender, and that's why he was out there. So, and that's why he's going to be out there tomorrow. But you got to have the defense show up. So when the Knicks don't play well, it's because their defense is not where it's supposed to be, and it wasn't last night.
No, you're absolutely right, man. All good points. Defense wasn't there last night, and you're absolutely right. That has to pick up. Salute to everybody in chat. First of all, let me pause the conversation right here just to salute the chat. If you're enjoying the conversation, you're enjoying the show, please subscribe to the channel and hit those thumbs up buttons, please. I'm about to shout you out, anybody in the chat. I seen you guys. First of all, hold on. I saw my guy Jay Boogie in here. Hold on, General. Hold on. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Says the only thing better than being on time is doing it in nick of time. Shout out to you.
I like that.
Yo, this guy got bars on bars. I swear to God. And he says next year's bench, Josh Hart, Norman Powell, and Gary Trent Jr.
Yikes. If that's really the bench next year, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yo, give me some of that pipe, man.
You just got to have dudes that are battle testers and can play half court. Nah, you definitely right. I'm definitely, like you said, Jay Boogie, we definitely had the Gary Trent Jr. conversation here because of you. So kudos to you for all the suggestions. All right. And shout out to everybody else. Shout out to Iller. Shout out to Junior Karoma, Shy Fly, Fritz Alessandor, Brooklyn Belly, Clinic. Shout out to you. I like that name, Clinic. The Juan Williams, Brooklyn Belly from Brooklyn. Shout out to you. Will Bells, everybody who's representing the KOT show, man. All right.
From Oklahoma. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Also, yo, shout out to tell him Alejandro, man, because you was here mad early, yo. Shout out to you. You was here at 8 o'clock, like, yo, I'm in this. Nick of time, let's go. Shout out to tell him Alejandro, man. He's always supporting, man, in the chat for sure. All right.
Hit that thumbs up button for your homie. Man.
Yeah, man, definitely hit that thumbs up. I feel like every time we have a talk, we have like a impromptu free agency conversation. So I'm just waiting for the impromptu free agency conversation, man. Yeah, shout out to you. Anything else? This game. I don't even want to drag out this conversation about this game because this game. I feel like this game was just a clunker. It was just a clunker. Yeah. It's a Spurs team who's good in the West. You expect to kind of lose some games, and this is a game that you expected to lose. You just didn't have it defensively. I'm not really too low on this game. You can't get too low, too high. Yeah. I'm not, going to sell the farm. I know some guys are still worried about certain role players because we have guys who hit 3-pointers who aren't doing their job mostly. Mm-hmm. In Alec Burks and and Reggie Bullock. So I know some guys are like, well, maybe we should look to move those guys, but we also have guys who have potential to hit threes, right? Like, yeah. I mean, even if Frank isn't a starting point guard once Derrick Rose comes back, if he's hitting the 3-point shot like that and playing defense, then maybe you can look to slot him in for Reggie Bullock's minutes if Reggie Bullock isn't hitting. You know what I mean? Even though they play a different type of defense, I do feel like Reggie Bullock plays a little bit better on-ball defense than Frank does in certain matchups. And Frank is more of a really good team defender who can cover up for other people's mistakes. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends. Like, if you're going by the stats, right? I mean, right now, Frank from 3-point is hitting what? He's hitting 56% from 3.
Yeah, he's hitting 56. I'm not going to expect him to hit 56% from 3 the whole year.
It's a small sample
size.
Yeah, it's a small sample size. Yeah,
56% from 3. So I'm saying that what my point is that if Frank is going to hit 3-pointers at, let's say, 43% then that makes Bullock expendable because Frank can step in and do exactly what Bullock's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that, and if he's hitting that open three at any type of rate close like that, then we need to put him in there. But at this point, I would not try to make any drastic changes. We are what we are. We're not going to the finals this year, y'all. So
we're not going to the finals.
Nah, we ain't going to the finals. Nah.
We could get to the playoffs, and God forbid we could win some games or win the first round. Yeah, that's a successful season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be rough, man. After the second half of the season, it's going to be rough. We have a bunch of games. We have, like I said, keep saying, the last week of the season, we have like a 6-game stretch of all these Titan West Coast teams who are playoff contenders. So, I mean, we're flying high right now, and I'm going to enjoy that. We enjoyed the last episode with all the gunshots and the Frank Lakina intros and the screaming. I'm definitely going to enjoy every single win, but we're not sure what's going to happen in the second half of that season, man. That's going to be the test to see who we really are.
Word.
And if we make it to the playoffs this year, what y'all saw last episode is nothing. Was nothing. I'm gonna have gunshots, all new sound effects. I'm a.
Oh, I can't wait, man. That's gonna.
Oh
be
my
good.
gosh! Don't let us try. If we make the playoffs, you're gonna want to be here for the post. You're going to want to be here for the live show because I'm going to go ham and cheese. All right.
Word.
One more point I want to make too is that this is again one of those situations where unfortunately Knicks Nation sometimes hates their own guys. Now I'm not saying we couldn't do better, but Bullock is shooting 38% from three, and Burks is shooting 40% from three. Now if I was to tell you, beginning of this season, if we in September, and I said, well, Bullock's going to shoot 38% from three. He's going to start. Burks is going to shoot 40% from three off the bench. We're going to be 18 and 18 at. Would y'all have taken that?
Yeah, we definitely would have taken that.
Hell yes. So now everybody's crying about Bullock and Burks, but overall, they're playing pretty good ball.
No.
They're not superstars, but we knew that when we signed them. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it is what it is. So I'm pretty happy with what we're doing at this point. That we're very much ahead of schedule in our rebuild. So let's just keep rolling with what we got and see how far we can go with this.
Now, you're absolutely right, Ro, because I was kind of this last episode, we was kind of having this conversation. You wasn't here for it. But I was talking about the growth from within because, we started off the season. We were like number 28 in 3-point shooting. We've climbed to the 13th in 3-point shooting and Sharp's 3-point shooting percentage, and we didn't trade for near one guy. Our guys just got better, from Julius Randle to R.J. Barrett to Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks came back and he started coming back to life. If you look at, there was a graphic that was on the screen yesterday that showed all of our 3-point shooting stats over the last month, and all those guys were in over 35%
right,
and more, and into the 40%. So I know when people see one bad game or even one good game, sometimes you get too hyper focused on what's happening right this second, cool up in the moment. That's just the internet era, Sometimes you have to take a step back and see what's happening in the big picture. In the big picture, as of now, it looks like maybe the 3-point shooting is better than we thought it was because people just got better. We have to see if that remains consistent after the All-Star break happens. But I'm sure I'm curious to see because trade deadline is March 25th, and if it starts to dip, I'm curious to see if we do a move to package some guys for another guy, because especially considering Austin Rivers hasn't played, so he's going to run out. Frank, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him because he was on the fence, but now he's playing well, so he might attract some offers now that he looks like he's playing better. So I can definitely see a scenario where Frank is packed with Austin or Alfred if Alfred doesn't play. They
could trade Alfred now, right?
Huh?
They could trade Alfred now because, they couldn't trade him earlier because of the contract, because they had re-signed him after they let him go. That's the NBA rule. They could not trade him. But I think after something in February, they could trade him.
Oh yeah, they could trade him officially after I believe February. Was it 6th or 9th? They could officially trade him, but he still has a no trade clause. You know what I mean?
Oh, so he does have the clause.
He still has a clause, but it's because he was signed. He had to wait till a certain date we can trade him. But the thing is, if he's not getting playing time, that's different. If he's not getting playing time, then he might open a trade. Might be open for a trade. So to me, the only way he'll be accepting of a trade is if he's not playing. In my mind, you know what I mean? But if he's playing, say Derrick Rose is the starting point guard, and he's coming off the bench and still getting 20 minutes a game, he might still want to stay here regardless. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I believe that. I agree. With
Yeah.
that. I agree with that.
So it really depends on the circumstance. Now, if he's completely in a doghouse, then he might be open to whatever. You know?
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. And you know what? Shout out to the super chat. Says Maurice Baker sends a $10 super chat. Says great show, fellas. KOT, appreciate you, my guy. Super appreciate you, man. Anybody who's donating to the super chats or to the Cash Apps or PayPals, all money. I don't get Jordans with it. It goes into the channel to paying for writers, to expenses, microphones, all that stuff. All right, it's all to grow the KOT Nation. So shout out to anybody who likes the show. Please like and subscribe and share. And I'll just know that all the money is going to a good place and not New Jordans. All right, maybe Hewings. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Gunshots.
Oh, give the gunshots. Gunshots for the humans. All right, let's go. Gunshots for the humans. All right. So, in other news, listen, a snub happened. A snub happened in Knicks Nation. Something, Knicks fans are used to being disrespected, but for some reason, through our disrespect, we've been invited to the All-Star game in various ways. This year, we got Julius Randle, who's made to the All-Star game. We're all very happy about it. RJ Barrett, he's made the World Games, right? And we're happy about that as well. Obi Toppin, as expected, did not make the Rising Star game. But, he's only playing like 9 minutes a game. He's not found his footing yet, so we expect that. But the news today has shown that Emmanuel Quickly has not made the Rising Star game, which is insane to me. People who have been selected have been LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, DeAndre Hunter, Keldon Johnson, Ja Morant, Michael Porter Jr., Zion Williamson, James Wiseman, Emmanuel Quickly just left off the list. Now, Ian Begley says assistant coaches from each NBA team votes for the Rising Stars roster. The U.S. team is comprised of 10 first and second year NBA players from the United States. World team is also comprised of the same 10 first and second year players. So guys, I already know, I don't understand what happened here. I can't even fathom why he would be left off the list, considering we talked about it. He's in one of the best fourth quarter performers in the NBA as a rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, every time there's any type of all-star team, somebody's gonna get snubbed, right? I mean, that's always the case, right?
Yeah.
There's some people that's just straight obvious. I mean, obvious. Like, this is the worst snub I've seen in a number of years. I'll put it that way, because there's just no way that Anthony Edwards is playing better than Emmanuel Quickly. There's just no way. Anthony Edwards' team, I think they won 8 games?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Minnesota's one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I mean, and here's Emmanuel Quickly in the rotation for a playoff team. I mean, come on, man. That's ridiculous, man. I don't know what was going on. If it was their team, it was their chance to put, because, in the last couple of days, all of a sudden we getting that bandwagon is getting heavy.
Yeah, man, the bandwagon is closed. I tell you.
Bandwagon's getting heavy.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, somebody got to throw some Nick hate out there by snubbing our boy. But that's crazy, man. I mean, that's crazy. I can see the world team, their squad is a little weaker because I guess they didn't have as many players representing. But on the U.S. team, they picked out of the 10 players or 11 players, I think they picked 6 players that were second-year guys. And I think they only picked 4 or 5 guys that were first year.
Yeah.
So, and so, I mean, to me, this is the deal. First off, they hating the Knicks. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, the NBA thrives on individual stars.
Name recognition.
So they trying to push Edwards. They trying to push Wiseman. Yeah. Obviously, LaMelo star. So that, but this is their chance to me to, stick it to the Knicks, and they did it. But that was terrible. That's a terrible snub.
I think Max Kellerman was a part of selecting this list, and that's why IQ was left off.
Max Kellerman around, and that was it, right?
Exactly. He made a phone call. All of a sudden, he got IQ being snubbed out here, man. Like, what the hell, man?
I'll say this though, right quick, because when I look at the stats of each one of these players, like clearly Zion, no brainer. John Morant, no brainer. Michael Porter Jr. is having a pretty good season for a good team, so that's understandable. Keldon Johnson for the Spurs, he's quietly having a good season as well, so I can see why he got picked.
He is having a good season.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, he's pretty. He
got it.
Yeah, he's shooting lights out for Sacramento, so I'm like, I can understand Tyrese Halliburton as well. But the question now is Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman, because Emmanuel Quickly is comparable to those two players. Mm-hmm. And if you look at Anthony Edwards' stats right quick, Anthony Edwards is averaging 14.8 points per game, which is more than Emmanuel Quickly's 12.6. But clearly, it's because Anthony Edwards plays more minutes. He starts for the Timberwolves. He's only shooting 37.2% from the field. Emmanuel Quickly shooting 39.4%.
Bruh.
He's shooting 31.2% from three. Emmanuel Quickly shooting 39% from three.
Bruh.
And he averages more rebounds. They average about the same amount of assists. And I think Emmanuel Quickly has a higher PER than Anthony Edwards as well. So clearly, the reason why they put Anthony Edwards into the game, which is what Ross said, it's name recognition. Everybody knows Anthony Edwards because he's the number one pick in the draft, and he has great athleticism. Mm-hmm. So he's a highlight reel on top of that. So that's why Anthony Edwards is in over Emmanuel Quickly. And James Wiseman, I mean, Wiseman's having a pretty good season as well.
He is. He's doing it. Yeah.
12 points per game, 51.5% field goal percentage, 40% from three, 5.9 rebounds per game. So I mean, he's having a pretty good season as well. But the real the real comparison that should take place is Quickly and Edwards, and clearly Edwards got in just because of his name and the fact that he's a highlight reel and can provide highlight dunks and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, IQ is boring. He just helps us win.
That's the thing. He's not boring.
Can I be frank? He just helps us win. Get to the line, he busts people in their ass. So
that's it. He just busts.
He's got 360 dunks, so we can't have him on the team.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, I have to hit on nail on the head, man. It's all about the name recognition, because at the end of the day, you can't say IQ's not inside. And you see what he's doing, man. You see the headlines he's making in these New York Knicks headlines on ESPN and all these other channels. So it's not about that at all. It's about the name recognition. It's crazy because you think you think because he's in New York he would survive that, but unfortunately that's not just what happened. But this is gonna be one of those things when you look back in history and you're like, man, this was the wrong choice. How did this guy not make it? Like it's gonna be one of those choices, man. Everybody's just gonna look bad in the long run. All right. Shout out to the chat. Let me recognize the chat for a second. This is gonna be a shorter show than usual because of the. But Flip says ESPN has been putting out Knicks content the last few days. Clearly, ESPN wants to make nice with the Knicks fans. It's too late though. It's too late.
People with Max Kellerman, man, he need to go somewhere, man.
Nah, that's why they get CP. That's why they got CP over there, man. They had enough of all the Knicks hate. They had enough of all the Knicks hate and the Knicks slander. Just slander for slander's sake. Is no more real analysis. It's straight up hate, win or lose.
And CP need to go after other people at ESPN too, because Max Kellerman ain't the only one.
No, he ain't the only one.
Yeah, he ain't the only one.
I'm sure if they give him more time. I'm sure if they give him more time, he'll go after him. Because he said when I talked to him, he said he didn't know how much time he was going to get. So they just had him on and had him off. But trust me, he has a laundry list of things he wants to get to. And he'll be back next week. So it just is what it is. Yo, shout out to the Man Show who's doing this thing over there in the YouTube channel across the street. Yo, shout out to you. Man. Yeah, he says the more they hate, the more they validate. I hear you on that, man.
Word.
I hear you on that. Salute to the chat, man. Old Head says IQ has veteran savvy already drawing fouls. Yeah, you're right. He draws fouls like a vet.
That's right.
As Ash would say, he's a rookie and a vet. All right.
That's right.
Tyrone says he got edged out, had 26 and got snubbed. Yep, for sure got snubbed. Brooklyn Belly says the dunk got Edwards in.
That's true.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Right about that. That's right on point. Sure.
Yo. Okay, so Rick Harrison says here we're coming at the Pistons' head with D Rose is back tomorrow. Now I saw somebody say I saw somebody post that is D Rose officially back tomorrow? Is that what's happening?
I haven't heard that. I hope he is. That would be good.
I know I read reports and they said that the reason why he sat out was because his test was inconclusive, and then they said he tested negative the second time around. So I'm not sure I don't know if he's going to be held out due to health and safety to do the health and safety protocols, or they're going to be like, okay, well the test is conclusive, so we're going to let him play the next game. I don't know how that works out.
Because dag man, we ain't got to see San Antonio again. That place they go, man, people get sick. Shoot.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh yeah, Texas opening up, yo. They said no more masks in Texas.
No more masks, man. They need to get those
everybody
vaccines.
getting sick, and every time like they missed already 4 games the Spurs because of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got a $5 super chat coming in from 96 Till. He says, "What do you guys want to see from RJ in the season? What do you guys want to see from RJ in the season half of the season?"
You mean the second half?
In this, okay, he meant second half. Okay, that tongue tied me a little bit. You know what's funny? I'm gonna answer your question because watch out for the next episode of the KOT because once this break comes, we're gonna drop an episode. We're gonna do a review. Roy might not be here. 'Cause I think Roy might be away.
I'm gonna be in Mexico next week.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Mexico, so it's gonna be me and Ryan, maybe somebody else. We're gonna be doing a review of the Knicks season, and
I'll be thinking about you.
You be thinking about if you want to send a note, Roy, you can. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a review of the Knicks season, what they've done, their rankings, their net ratings. We're gonna go deep stats dives. Trust me, I'm gonna do mad research, and what do we expect for them going forward. So definitely check out the next episode of the KOT show. But what do you guys want to see from RJ in the second half of the season? I want to see more playmaking from him because I do feel like in the beginning of the season, his passing was like next level in that first few preseason games. And I think he's tapered off a little bit and gotten a little bit, what's the word? Like he's got a little bit tunnel vision. Not to say he's still making certain passes, right? He's still making passes to like Mitch for lobs and things of that nature. But I do think his passes in the beginning of the season were a lot crisper and a lot better. So I want him to see him get back to that. I want to see him continue to hit that 3-point shot at the end of the year. A 3-point shot consistency and be comfortable with that mid range. Like more of the same. The passing I want the passing of the front part of the season and the shooting of the second part of the season. And that's what I want to see from RJ. Right?
That's good, man. I agree. I want him to like you said, get better with his decision making on offense, passing wise. Mm-hmm. I want to see him make less boneheaded mistakes defensively and continue to hit that 3-point shot, which I think all 3 can happen in the second half. And I want to see him peak just at the time the Knicks go to the playoffs.
That'll be perfect.
Yes. As for me, I just want RJ to do pretty much more of the same that he's been doing lately. Get his baskets within the flow of the offense. Don't force it. More playmaking would be nice. And also, better finishing at the rim, would be nice as well. So if he could just improve playmaking and finishing at the rim, I'll be straight.
Exactly. People, he's comparing him to DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler. DeMar DeRozan, he's over there diming up people. Maybe not as much yesterday, but in general. So why not RJ? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just have to clean up his mentality, and he'll get there.
Honestly, though, in my opinion, DeRozan is the best mid-range player in the game. So,
yeah,
got a mid-range guy, and the game that he brings is a mid-range guy. He's the best. So, to get if RJ can get anywhere like that, that'd be really good.
Oh yeah, I'd be excited, especially if you can stay that consistent from 3. Hit the corner 3 that consistently, because that's the thing that DeRozan hasn't really been able to do.
Right.
Yeah,
he's a
hit the 3. Yeah.
He's not a shooter from the 3. He's a mid-range player.
Exactly. So if RJ can do that, then he'll be golden, man. And people who talk about trading him for all these pieces, I'm telling you, man. You're going to regret it. Mm-hmm. You're going to regret it. He just works too hard. Mm-mm. He just works too hard, and he has that thing where he just doesn't care, and he just puts the pass behind him and goes. Like, he just works too hard. You're gonna regret that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Infamous New King says RJ Bully continued growth, a go-to move and a counter go-to move. Mm-hmm. A go-to move account. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody said Paul is the best mid-range guard in the game. Chris Paul is like mid-range 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, man. Chris
Yeah,
Paul is
He does
nasty,
it all,
man.
man.
Yeah, all around.
He does everything.
Yeah.
DeRozan is not a guy from the 3-point range. He's straight mid-range. I mean, and he's very good. I mean, extremely good at it.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Okay, all right. And shout out to Kane Marco. He just sends a $10 super chat that just says salute. So, man, a few words. Salute. All right, man. Yo, appreciate it. Yo, anything else, guys? I don't know if anybody else wants to. Hashtag new if you're here. I'll shout you out if you're hashtag new.
I'm looking at the New York Post article. It says that Rose tested negative multiple times, and he was able to fly back with the team on the plane, so he wasn't quarantined. So
That's
it
a
looks
good
like
sign.
he'll be back
Yeah,
tomorrow.
sorry.
And now
Alright.
another good sign. This was not written by Mark Berman. So
Oh man, gunshots. Taking shots at Mark.
I'll say this though. I don't know if y'all want to touch on it, but there's been recent news where they said that Knicks are in talks to acquire Karl Anthony Towns.
well, somebody said that. Woj said that. Did y'all see? I'd never seen
Woj
that.
didn't say that. Woj definitely didn't say that.
Yeah,
If Woj
didn't
said that,
say it.
I would have started the shit with
Yeah,
that.
somebody
Yeah.
said Woj said it. I would
Nah.
say, well, we'd be talking about it, but it's been to me, the guys that are saying that are people that you can never trust. So I
Right.
don't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and I don't see that. I mean, if I'm I always think of it from the Minnesota perspective, from the other team. If I'm Minnesota, what do I want for Karl Anthony Towns? Well, I want everything. So
Yeah.
you know, we're not doing that this year.
It doesn't make sense for me to do that, man. Like if you're doing Karl Anthony Towns, I don't even know his contract, but we just assume Julius Randle's involved, right? You just
Oh
assume.
yeah.
You just assume, and it like
Well,
to me it doesn't make sense. It's kind of
Mitchell
like,
Robinson.
huh?
They would have to include Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
that
They would have
too,
to
yeah.
include Mitchell Robinson. They would have to include, the 3 first-round picks. I mean, that's what if I'm Minnesota, it's like before we realized that KP was the, player that he is now. When we thought he was going to be the superstar, what did we want for KP? You know what I'm saying? So Karl Anthony Towns is the same thing. What do you want for him? You're going to have to get a lot for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then on top of Karl Anthony Towns is a better player than KP as well. So you have to put that into consideration as well.
I don't think the gap between Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle is that big anymore to entertain a trade like that.
No, it's not. It's not.
Nah.
Julius is a better defender.
Yeah, and Julius is a better defender,
Yeah.
and he's not gonna cry at Tom because you already know you already know the relationship that Tom and Cat had. Like we broke this down on this show, Ryan, about how if we switch out Karl Anthony Towns for Mitchell Robinson, the defense is gonna look a lot better, and we're gonna have a lot better record. And lo and behold, we're a top 2 defensive team, top 3. So, I mean. Maybe he's grown up now because that does happen when you're younger and you're immature. You don't want to listen to your coach, and you have a guy like Tom Thibodeau who's going to be in your ear and in your ass. Pause. Like you don't want to listen all the time. You know what I mean? So maybe he's more mature and can take it better now. But to me, it just doesn't make sense to make a move for Cat.
Nah, it doesn't make sense for me either. I just mentioned it because like someone mentioned in the chat, and I looked it up to see like, yo, did Woj really drop that bomb? But then when I was like, Woj didn't. But I do see articles that mention it though, so I just wanted to bring it up. Like, what y'all thoughts of
Now,
did it for Cat?
ESPN. What's this boy? Oh God, Jay, the guy used to play for Duke and hurt himself on the motorcycle.
Jay Williams.
Jay Williams said today I saw that Devin Booker wants to come to New York.
Didn't I mention that the other day, Jay?
And he said,
Man,
Did I mention it the other day?
yeah, you did. I'm sorry. I'm just not getting hyped. I'm not.
When Windhorst said that there was a guy that was an all-star level that's want to force a trade to New York, he was talking.
I heard that episode. I listened to that episode.
About Devin Booker because he was mentioning all the ties to Kentucky and New York and that how Devin Booker and Leon Rose are
Y'all
tied.
not getting me this year. You're not.
Yeah.
You're
No, not
not
this year.
getting me
And-
this
and-
year.
and-
Not this year, next year. They're talking about next year.
I don't
and-
care what year. Not getting me.
But how you going? I don't know, because Phoenix is like 3rd in the West right now. I don't see how he gives that up to come to New York. I don't see.
I mean, I don't know, but is a Chris Paul gonna be a free agent though next season?
Yeah, I think he is. Wait, is he? Yeah, I think he is. I think this is the last year of the blow up year of his deal.
Yeah, so I'm like, and then on top of it, you gotta remember, my man was disrespected. he didn't get chosen for the All-Star game because he plays for Phoenix, so he wants to come to a big market.
I didn't even think of that.
And the Kentucky connection on top of that. I think there's some validity.
Stop it! Shut up! Shut your mouth! No, I'm not doing this.
He would definitely start on All-Star if he came to the East.
Exactly.
Dang!
Stop it! Stop it! We've been down this road already. Stop it.
Yeah, but he is under contract, so
He's under contract. Thank you. Bring us back to earth. He's under contract.
I mean, Phoenix don't have to do anything. He's under contract.
Yeah, he under contract. He would have to pull a James Harden. Like he would have to force his way out with a crazy trade to bring him here. I'm not even entertaining it. I'm not even going to think about that, man. I'm honestly not, man. This is Kevin Durant all over again, man.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
Honestly, though, somebody like Jay Williams, those type of guys, you can't listen to, man. If Wojnarowski said it or Shams said it, I would listen. But or even Ian Begley, because Ian Begley, he comes out with real deal. But all these other cats, all these other cats from all these other outlets, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm giving the broad to me for listening to this conversation. Yo, salute to the chat, man. If you enjoyed the show, hit the thumbs up button, please. We got 46 likes, 81 people. Can we get that? Let's get that to like 60 at least. Can we do 60?
For real.
Can we do 60, man? We talking smack. We give me some laughs. Like it's not even that much news. We lost, but we still making it entertaining for you guys, man. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you like the show, please like and subscribe and share all that noise. If we will be back for the Pistons game. The Pistons game. Let's see. Pistons game is tomorrow, Thursday. This game is tomorrow, Thursday. So I'll be doing a show Friday. I'm not sure who's available. I'm not sure if Raw. I'm not sure if Raw.
I'm not available Friday, but
Hell and High Water, I will be here Friday with somebody.
We're
or by myself. I will be here. All right.
Friday I should be available. Friday,
Ryan should be available.
Ryan, Jay Ellis holding it down.
Yeah, so we'll be holding it down Friday, most like around 8:30, 8:45. I'm gonna try to keep the same time so everybody knows. All right, the day after the game, I'm trying to keep the momentum going. Everybody knows the day after the game. Turn into the KOT show around 8:30, 8:45.
That's right.
We're gonna talk about it. It's the after party show. All right, so definitely check in. Okay.
Right.
Keep that time slot in your mind. All right. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Cody Emmanuel who says 10K likes by the summer. Let's go. 10K subscribers. I'm with that, man. Speak it into existence. All right. Right. Salute to everybody in the channel, man. Gregory Castillo. He says get Jay. Yo, he always kills me with his comments. He says get Jay Ellis to the 3-point contest. Hit that like button. Facts, yo. I got snubbed too, man. I got snubbed too. IQ got snubbed and I got snubbed.
That's right.
Get me in the 3-point contest, man.
It's a New York thing. They hate us.
Exactly. There's a bunch of Ellises in the NBA. We got Dale Ellis. We got Monta Ellis.
Yeah, that's true. Monte Ellis, Dale.
Yeah. That's my cousins. They're my cousins like Winston. Is Winston even here? Is Winston Ellis here? Yeah, shout out to my cousin Winston, man. Shout out to my
Oh gosh. You're crazy.
But yeah, that is our show, man. Hope you enjoyed it. Raw, let them know where they can find you, Raw.
Raw Hebrew Remnant on YouTube and Raw Hebrew Remnant on Twitter. Very simple.
All right, cool. All right, Ryan, where can they find you, sir?
They're gonna find me on Instagram at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can find me on Twitter. The Twitter's a little bit more active nowadays.
All right. Finally, you joined us. Let's go.
Exactly. You can find me on Twitter at Ryan G KOT. That's Ryan RYAN G KOT.
All right, and you know what? Shout out to Worldwide West, first of all.
Shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
All right, cool. So shout out to Worldwide West for putting this team together and doing these things in the back streets. Maybe he is trying to get Devin Booker. Never mind, I'm joking. All right, cool. But yeah, also, you know what? Go to the nickoftimeshow.com to get your KOT merch. Shout out to you if you got your KOT merch already. Shout out to you. We got them in blue and orange. You got them in black. So definitely go to Nick of Time Show and get yours. Also, shout out to the writers. The blog writers, we got some rumor articles coming up. I know Fritz has been working on some, so she'll be keeping an eye out for that, and some more articles also coming up. So take a look for that. Also, follow us on all social media. That is the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick Time Show on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook as well.
Prince
And-
Alcindor, he must be cousins with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What'd you say?
Prince Alcindor, he must be cousins with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, is that your cousin? Might be, since we all related. I can see that.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why he's one of our writers, man. We gotta have all the all the legends created for us. All right, cool. All right, and also definitely listen to us on. We also on. If you didn't know, man, we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher as well. So if you like our show, if you want to help us out, you can like and subscribe to those places as well. Need a nice no comment says how great we are. All right, cool. All right, that is our show. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Wait, hold up. No Manscaped tonight?
Oh, no Manscaped tonight. No Manscaped tonight.
Oh, all right.
No Manscaped tonight.
Just making sure.
But it's coming. It's coming. Trust me.
All right.
Trust
All
me.
right.
All right.
But that is our show. We out here.
Peace.